In this video, I'm going to talk about Curator, which is a more advanced feature in Funnelback. So you would typically use this to fine-tune search results for specific queries. It allows you to promote, demote, or hide individual results. You can create custom rules for search behavior, and it goes beyond best bets for precise result management. And it's also perfect for complex search optimizing needs. So scenarios when you would typically use this is when you've got an important page that is buried on page 2, for example, of the results, or if you've got outdated content that appears too high in the search results, if you've got relevant results that need boosting for specific searches, if you have multiple similar pages that need ranking adjustment, and if you want, if the search algorithm isn't prioritizing correctly the page order. So, just covering the different features that you do have available and comparing it to Curator, because Curator is more advanced. With Best Bets, that feature basically it just highlights one result at the very top of the page. It's almost like having a little post above all of your search results. But with that, you can't really modify the search rankings. So you're only promoting key content to the top of the page, top of the search results. So, for example, in the video that I created, that I covered best bets, I promoted IT support at the top of the page, and I included links in there. And for synonyms, this is when you are trying to connect related search terms together. So if you've got like language variations, misspellings, things that require a little bit more of like, if you want to aggregate all of those different errors in how people use language and then direct them into a certain search result, that's how you'd use this. Whereas for Curator, it's more advanced. You're modifying existing search rankings with the option to add a featured result, so similar to best bets. So in the Funnelback dashboard, you want to find Curator. And over here, you can see I have already created some some Curator rules. I'll go on to just analytics because this one is quite a nice example. So for this one, you can have positive and negative triggers. In this case, I wanted to make sure search keywords match a regular expression. So this is very similar to what you use for synonyms or best bets. You could also have negative triggers as well. So for example, if you had content or certain keywords, for example, that you didn't want to include in the search term, you could also add these as well. And you can add multiple rules. You can add different trigger groups together. So, or you can add actions as well. So in this particular example for the JISC learning analytics from the student side, so study goal, I have created some of the regular expressions. And then I asked what I would do is then I would want these actions. So when JISC Learning Analytics was first introduced, these key search guidance available for students, they weren't being promoted to the top. So I have asked for these things to be promoted to the top. Now, when you're coming back to look at these and reviewing them, what you need to be doing is checking to make sure the content is still there aren't any broken links, and if there are better links available. So, for example, I would assume that this particular PDF is now been replaced by something else, for example. These kind of things, like you would remove this and then you would add the guidance instead of the PDF. So check these to make sure they're okay. In this particular example, there are two rules that I've asked following the search request. So I've asked it to promote things to the top, and I've also asked it to display an advert with a link. So this is very similar to what you had with Best Bets, where it signposts something at the very top of the page and above all the search results. And essentially, it will provide some description, it would provide a link, and you could kind of use HTML if you need to edit this particular description. You could also add loads of other actions as well. I would probably like experiment with it and see what it comes up with, because you can have different associations together. When you're finished, you click on Save and Publish, or if you haven't made any changes, you go back to the list. If you've already looked at all of the search, like URLs, and they're all working perfectly fine, then basically you just go back to the list and you go on to the next one. To test if your curator rules are working, you would need to get them authorized on the live server. And once that they are, you can go onto the search, the Helm search. And for example, if I wanted to go just or study go, let's have a look. So with study go, you've got three search results. You've got the message that you have at the top, and you also have the attendance and engagement rule as well. What it seems to have happened is you've got an international checklist that shouldn't be included here. So that's something to kind of flag up and hide using Curator. So you'd want to know that exactly the URL for this page, and then you'd go on the Curator for the study goal, and you'd hide that one, and then that should remove it from the list.